A new update has arrived to GTA Online and I'm glad to say it's an absolute banger, especially if you're rolling solo and looking to stack a few $1,000,000. There's a bunch of tasty payout adjustments with a large focus centered around special cargo, which is currently offering up a 50% bonus on every sale. In this video, I'll be discussing all of the relevant changes and showing off the best possible methods of making money from the latest event week. To get the most out of the bonuses though, you'll need to own at least one warehouse. This gets filled up with crates full of product, which you can either collect yourself by doing missions through the office computer, or by going the passive route of paying Lupe to source them for you. It'll cost 7.5k to do it this way, but she'll do all of the heavy lifting while you're off making money elsewhere. She has a chance of collecting between 1 and 3 crates per run, with a small possibility of one of them being a special item which you can sell for extra profit. In traditional Rockstar fashion, you can't just go and buy a warehouse outright. No, don't be absurd. You have to buy a parent property that will then give you the privilege of purchasing the property that you actually want to buy. In this case, you'll need to buy an office if you don't have one already. Fortunately, if you come over to Dynasty 8 Executive, you'll find that they are at least on sale this week, as are all of the cosmetic upgrades and other renovations. Plus, if you're in the need for some extra car storage, the customizable office garages are also discounted as well. For whatever reason, these things don't get discounted very often, so if you want to expand your car collection, now is a good time to do it. Either way, with an office under your belt, you'll now be able to purchase a warehouse, which you can do over on the computer at your desk. There's a bunch of warehouses to choose from and they come in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. You can own up to 5 warehouses of any size, but to make maximum profit, large is the only way to go. But you can still make decent money with the smaller ones, and they can always be traded in at a later date if you want to upgrade. Location comes down to what's most convenient to you. Generally speaking though, it's a good idea to buy one that's close to your office and other businesses that you frequently visit. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can focus on making some money. My preferred grinding method is super simple and revolves around a 2-prong approach. First, come over and speak to Lupe if you haven't done it already, and pay for her to source some crates like I did earlier. It'll take her 1 in-game day to collect between 1 and 3 crates, and while she's doing that, we're going to be off doing the same thing by starting a source mission back at the office. Once again, you'll want to come over to the computer and navigate to this page on the cargo management program. The most efficient method is ordering 3 crates at once. While it might cost more, when you take into account the 5-minute cooldown for each mission and the time it takes to travel around the map, it works out better this way, especially when you consider a number of the sourcing missions will actually have all 3 crates contained within one vehicle that can then be delivered back to your warehouse at the same time. Granted, it doesn't always happen this way, and sometimes you'll have to manually deliver each crate, but as long as you've got an oppressor or a fast helicopter to fly between destinations, it's still a lot quicker than ordering them one at a time. Either way, once you're back at the warehouse, you'll be given an update on the total value of your goods, and the crates we stole will be stored on the shelving, ready to be delivered and sold whenever you want. But do try and be patient. The more cargo that you sell at once, the more money you'll get paid for each individual crate, which is why your best option is exclusively buying large warehouses. The only exception are special items, which can either be found by Lupe or through a unique source mission that is occasionally allocated to you through the office computer. These items are sold off separately and will vary in price depending on which one you're selling at the time. The sale missions are no different than if you were delivering normal cargo, but of course the profits are a lot bigger. For a single crate, you'll be making somewhere between 150 and 200k when adding on the event week bonus. There is unfortunately a 30-minute cooldown timer in between sale missions though, and a 5-minute timer placed in between source missions. So if you've got multiple special items or a lot of crates to collect, you might get slowed down a bit. While we're waiting though, you could potentially check out this week's time trials. The standard time trial is over here and will earn you the usual 100k. The RC Bandito time trial is over here, which will bring in another 100k, and the next gen exclusive HSW race is over here and will earn you 250k. But if that doesn't tickle your pickle, you could also consider the Tiny Races Adversary mode, which is paying out double money and RP this week. Another way that you can avoid the cooldown timer in between crate missions is by owning multiple warehouses. That way, when you're done sourcing for one location and the timer activates there, you can immediately start a new mission for one of the other warehouses while that counts down. Granted, that does make it difficult if you plan on selling from a large warehouse, as you'd have to do a lot of missions to fill them all up and get the best of the bonus. But some people might not want to do it like that anyway, either because they can't afford the larger property, or because they don't want to invest that much time filling it up. And that's totally fine, you can still make plenty of money from smaller sales. A 9 crate sale will guarantee a 1 vehicle delivery and still bring in a very impressive 135k profit after expenses. A 29 crate sale will guarantee a 2 vehicle delivery and rack up just over $500,000. And the cream of the crop, a large crate warehouse when stocked to capacity will earn a crazy $3.3 million or 2.6 after expenses. Now when I say a 2 or 3 vehicle sale, that of course doesn't include when it's the Titan mission. While this is one of the more challenging missions, it can definitely be completed solo. Instead of taking off to begin with, first just get in and out of the aircraft and get the locations up on your map. And then it's a simple matter of scouting each of the locations with an oppressor or the provided helicopter to ensure that all potential enemy aircraft are taken out before returning to collect the Titan and make the drops. While the Titan mission isn't that hard, the plane missions often bug out and they can take almost the full 30 minutes to complete when going solo. So for that reason, I usually can't be bothered. And whenever it tells me to get into a plane after booting up a sail mission, I immediately open the main menu and load into a new session so that I can re-roll for a better delivery. You will lose a total of 3 crates for doing this, which honestly isn't that bad, especially considering that you can then just get that back with a 5 to 10 minute source mission. When you consider the time it takes to scout all of those locations and then fly there with that slow ass Titan, I just prefer to save myself the frustration and do it this way. Regardless of which sale mission you get though, every one of them, regardless of warehouse size, can be completed solo. Most just involve the standard warehouse delivery trucks, which are a lot faster than pretty much every other sale vehicle in the game, especially when compared to postal vans and trash trucks. So even when you max out a large warehouse and you've got 3 of them, they can still easily be delivered solo as long as you've got a fast aircraft to transfer between them. The best case scenario by far though are the tugboat sale missions. You'll occasionally get ambushed at the pickup point or by sea sharks and a helicopter when en route to the cellar, but they don't pose any real concern to the cargo and you can just take it easy. And then the second you hit the yellow marker out in the middle of the ocean, you'll immediately get transported back to land and will have been made a hell of a lot richer in the process. Because I needed the video, I went against the grain and sold my large warehouse about 10 crates short of its full capacity. But even when doing that, I still made over $3 million for just one sale. Not bad at all when you consider that around a third of those crates were sourced by Lupe while I was off doing other things. I did do my fair share of crate missions, don't get me wrong, but honestly, Lupe carried the team, man. Definitely get her picking up crates the entire time you're online. That pretty much ties things up for this week's money guide though. If you found it useful, hitting the like button really does help out a lot. If you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with my latest content. And if you want to reach out, be sure to connect up on either Twitter or my Discord server, both of which are linked down in the description below. Until we meet again, you bunch of legends. I am Red Nitrate and I'll catch you on the next one.